Breaking news. UN President Antonio Guterres is hypocritical on the issues of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, and the Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. Here are the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome to Biafra Unite channel /television this very moment. Today's date is 23rd of February 2025, and I have this very video for every one of you listening to my voice right now from where you are all over the world. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, I want you to pay very good attention to this very news, because it's very, very important, I can assure you, my people, and I want you to send this very video across. Once you come across it, do something about it so that it may get to the right channel, because it is very, very important. If the United Nations, even the President, Antonio Guterres, will see this very broadcast that I'm making right now, it will be very, very, very important, and it may go a long way to what we are doing. So moving forward, I want to play the video first. After playing the video, I will allow the video to play in full. Then I will begin to analyze it bit by bit. So I want you to pay attention to the very end of it. And I want to announce also, I don't know when this very address was made by Antonio Guterres, but this is real. This is not AI. This is not propaganda. This is real. The only thing there is that I don't know the date that it was made. I only came across it, so I found it very, very necessary for me to use it for this very broadcast, based on what the Biafran people are passing through in the hands of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria today. So pay attention while I play the video, and then we will analyze it.
The world must never forget that Africa is the victim of two colossal and compounded injustices. First, the profound impact of colonialism and the transatlantic slave trade. The roots stretch back centuries, and the bitter fruit continues to affect Africans and people of African descent to this day. Decolonization alone in itself was not a panacea. Political independence did not free countries from structures based on exploitation and decades of economic, social, and institutional underinvestment. It is high time for reparatory justice frameworks to be put in place.
All right, now it is time to begin to analyze this. And I want to say, before moving forward, that I will be coming live this evening to discuss about the issue of Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of Biafra. So everybody is expected to key into that very discussion, because it concerns all Biafrans, wherever you are, all over the world. Now, let us analyze this Antonio Guterres speech one by one, and recall that between 2021 and 2022, Antonio Guterres was in Nigeria. That was after the kidnap and rendition of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. So, Antonio Guterres was in the zoo. He visited Abuja and another state in the northern part of the zoo. This very man, in fact, before we continue, let us first of all analyze this very video and his speech.
The world must never forget that Africa is the victim of two colossal and compounded injustices. First, the profound impact of colonialism and the transatlantic slave trade.
So, you see, I always say that when somebody wants to deal with you, when they want to eye you, when they want to finish you up, they first of all give you beautiful and big names. They first of all remind you how great you are. And after, once you hear but, the moment that word but comes in, then that is the time they want to rip you off. So this man telling us how Africa is a victim of colonialism, and after that speech, they clap for him. For us to do what? You are telling us something that we already know. We are talking about solution. Don't come here to tell us what we know. We already know that we are victims of colonialism, which your own people participated. There are some countries that speak Portuguese in Africa, the likes of Mozambique and Angola. These countries, speak Portuguese, and they were colonized by Portugal. So this Portugal, where he comes from, his country, is among the countries in Europe, the European countries that destroyed Africa from beginning. So, Antonio Guterres, as somebody in your own level, what is your country, Portugal, doing? And you, as a top man, one of the top men in the world, what are you doing to, bring solution to our problem, not to remind us our problem? Even though maybe you think, or some people may think that you are saying it so that we can wake up. What is your country and you yourself with your organization that you are leading, which is United Nations, doing to proffer solution to our problem? I will come to Biafra matters in a jiffy. Let's continue.
The roots stretch back centuries, and the bitter fruit continues to affect Africans and people of African descent to this day. Decolonization alone in itself was not a panacea. Political independence did not free countries from structures based on exploitation.
Very fantastic. That is where I want to come in now with the matters of Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa. He said, decolonization, political independence did not bring solution. Let me just put it in a plain terms, based on what he meant. That political independence does not bring solution to our problems in Africa. So then decolonization is the real deal here. And how do we bring this decolonization? These countries or these tribes or states amalgamated into one bigger countries in Africa have to be decolonized. That is the real deal here, the solution. Which Nnamdi Kanu, let me start with him, is fighting for. And he was kidnapped in Kenya, the zoo, Nigeria. The government of the zoo committed an international crime that is against the United Nations Charter and law, against the rule of law that you, Antonio Guterres, is overseeing. Even some part of this, your organization, has advised the government of the zoo to free Nnamdi Kanu. Yet till today, Nnamdi Kanu is still being held in a solitary confinement in a DSS terrorist organization in Abuja. Yet you, Antonio Guterres, you came here between 2021 and 2022. You never mentioned the name of Nnamdi Kanu or Biafra when you had an opportunity to do so. You never mentioned these names. You came here, you visited the then president of the zoo, Muhammadu Buhari. You toured the northern states and then flew back to wherever you came from. Shame on you. It's a big shame. Very big shame. I'm not going to hide my mouth to say it. That is our proverb. You see? Have you seen how hypocritical you are? Now, currently, the Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, is being held in Finnish prison. Are you telling me, Antonio Guterres, that you have never heard about it? That you are not aware of it? No, you are aware of it. But what? You are hypocritical on this same issue. Yes, of course. You also are aware that the zoo government is doing every single thing within their powers, including their allies, Britain and other Western countries, trying to pressurize Finland to subvert the law, and probably jail an innocent man who is advocating for the freedom of his people, which is what you are talking about, which you said that political independence is not solution. So what is our solution? And how can we do this when people like you and your organization, which is United Nations, are not giving full backing to those people and states that want to be free from the whole mess that we all in Africa found ourselves because of colonialism? You are doing nothing. Your organization is doing nothing. Biafra has been redeclared in Finland. How many countries within the United Nations organization have recognized Biafra? None, not even one. Nobody's even talking about it. Although for this one, I'm not going to blame them, because those who claim to be in charge of both the redeclaration and those who are supposed to pursue the diplomatic side of this very freedom have thrown everything in the bin. So I'm not going to blame the United Nations or those nations who are within this organization concerning this very matter. But the man who's supposed to oversee this movement is being held in Finland, yet United Nations is not saying anything about it. So how do we talk about decolonization or decolonizing Africa? So please, don't shoot me at the same time trying to remove the bullet from my body. No. Allow me to find my way to heal myself. You cannot be my doctor after being the one who shot me. It's not going to happen.
And decades of economic, social, and institutional underinvestment. It is high time for reparatory justice frameworks to be put in place.
You see, after finishing his whatever he said, they clap for him. What has he said? The question here is, what is your organization doing about it? The only thing United Nations know how to do best is to take bribe, oil, and other resources to suppress the oppressed. That's all. Yes, we know that we need recognition from United Nations. We know that we need help from the United Nations, but must we all perish before this very recognition and help will come from the United Nations? Should we go on our knees begging the United Nations to come and recognize us, or even to come and help us? Are you not seeing what is going on in Biafra land? Are you not seeing how the zoo is using their terrorist organization known as Nigerian Army to massacre innocent people within our territory? Is the United Nations not seeing it? No, you are seeing it. But because of what you are getting from the zoo, which is also in our land, you will always keep mum. I may talk about this during my live broadcast this evening, which we will be discussing the issue bordering on Mazi Simon Ekpa. Thank you, my people. To salo no mozia and make it go viral.